Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle comic review of Marvel Treasury Edition. Now this is number 5, The Hulk on the Rampage. I love these ones. A deluxe limited edition. Are they limited? I guess they were, but always the way it says it. Limited edition of the world's mightiest monster. And of course you had Spider-Man first one, Fantastic Four, then you had Thor, then Conan. Of course after that was Doctor Strange, and of course the Christmas one. I loved all these. Absolutely brilliant. 100 pages as well. And they were, of course, oversized, massive, a little bit bigger than the UK comics. Also, obviously, a lot larger than the US ones. And for me, they were always just a super duper special that just was great. Much better than any king size special you could find on the newsstand. This was great. They've brought them out since. They're just not as good now. There's just something about them. When you look at them, you think, no, they're not as good as they used to be, but still, that's the way it is. And you've got the Hulk, and you can see all a variety of different stories and characters that turn up in this story. Now, some of them, of course, don't actually turn up. I think there's briefest a bit of him. But you've got all the contents there, and also at the back, which is really nice. I love this. And of course, now they would put them on the back cover, but here they put them inside in black and white. Don't know why I did that, but still, bountiful bonus, as it says there. And you've got all the stories, the Doc Samson one. You've got, of course, the classic Marvel feature one. Hercules story there, you've got the Submariner story, you've got a lot of villains and powerful stories in this. Brilliant back cover as well, and 50p it was back then. Right, let's just go for the stories. The first one is just the origin, but it's not the origin story. This is actually the one where they did a slight variation of it, and this is, I love that splash. See, he's going to get killed. Of course, Rick Jones has to rush out there to help him, and of course he's turned it into the Hulk. Big spoiler. Not particularly. Everyone must know the origin story of the Hulk. And, of course, he's stuck behind this concrete wall. But can it hold him? Of course it can't. No, that would have been a ridiculous story. Imagine if they'd still be running that story now, where Rick Jones takes him behind this concrete wall and he's sort of bashing away. I don't think that would have worked all the time. But still, it was a good idea right at the start. This one, Titan and Torment. Bill Everett. I loved Bill Everett. Even back then, it was just something special about Bill Everett's work. I knew when I saw this, I thought, you know what? I love this artwork. And I've always loved Bill Everett's work. And this one, I think the restoration, the artwork, whatever you want to call it, I don't think it's been in, it's just basically, obviously, just how they printed it from the plates they used. I have no idea. But this is probably closest, of course, to the original comics as well. Probably using, they would have had them, of course, at this point, and they probably still got them. So it would have been used. Now, of course, they've all been remastered, cleaned up, restored, and everything else. So it's all slightly changed. So it's really nice to get these sort of reprint ones to look at it as if you had the original comics. And in many cases, of course, lots of people still got the original comics. I haven't got this one in the original. Otherwise, I would have actually shown this one. But nor have I got Hulk 3. That would be nice. Actually, I don't think I've got any of the ones in here. But still, I love that one. And well, you've got Hercules. Then you've got Submariner. And it's all controlled by a puppet master. For some weird reason, trying to look like Robin. He's got a big P there. Why did he have a top tunic that said P on it? I mean, you didn't actually even see him outside that. He was just sort of controlling Submariner. Not the world's greatest choice, but still, I suppose he wanted someone pretty powerful. I'm surprised he didn't use the Watcher or something. Let's try and get Galactus. Let's just try and control Galactus or some other, or the Enchantress and the Executioner. Make a choice, a really bad choice quite often. Kang. Imagine trying to control Kang. That would be a bad mistake. I doubt if Kang would forgive you for that, probably throughout eternity. But you got Submariner, and of course you got the Hulk there being. It's underwater, of course. He's much stronger generally than the Hulk, but it's just great the story. And I think it's. I love these as well. These are always great. I wish they would include them more often. These sort of proposed sight and mobile combat force 1. And all these sort of showing all the various things inside. Though weirdly, there was not much in there. It just says security cells. I guess not much in security cells. There was a poster as well, which is a very nice poster. And it actually shows some villains that didn't actually turn up in the comic, but still great to see. And of course, Doc Samson as well. And Jarella. Many foes as the Hulk. Brilliant little story. This one, probably a more issue 100 or issue 200 kind story. Weirdly, issue 139. But you got the leader there, plotting away, doing in a sense the thing that really the Puppet Master did. It's actually basically the same sort of story. And he says here, might he not even have a heart attack? No. The Hulk is indestructible. The Hulk, if he had a heart attack, whether he was pushed to the limit and beyond, I am quite certain that Hulk is indestructible, to the point of literally, if he's vaporised, he would still probably rebuild. He's one that sort of character that they would... So that I don't think that he would be stopped by that. But, of course, the leader, for all his great brains, he could have done lots of other things to stop him, but it's still a great little story all the same. And you found your man, leader. Still, that storyline's quite good because it follows on to the next story. But you got the leader here, you got the Rhino, so it's a good excuse to throw in lots and lots of things without any real story other than the fact of just trailing through. You've got various other ones here. You've got this character, I have no idea who, Zeron. Hulk remembers you. I'm glad he remembers him because I didn't. No, I do. I remembered him, but at the same time, he's a bit like a second-class Silver Surfer. Still, little great. And you got Submariner there as well, or Namor, as of course should call him, not Submariner. And you got the leader. No, it can't be. And that's on to the next story. Samson, really good. I love the artwork. I always loved her Trimpe. Lots of people didn't. I know, not always the world's favourite, but I really loved his artwork. And Jarella, a character I think they should have used a lot more. Sadly, they didn't, but it was still a brilliant story. I assume that this was leading on from that storyline, obviously because of that mention in there. That would have been 141, must be 140. Yeah, that was a Jarella story. And of course, you've got the Cedar. But it's really nicely done. And Dr. Samson, of course, becomes as powerful as the Hulk. And a great sort of Doc Samson, I guess he should be called. A great battle scene, of course. There's a lot of battles. You've got Hercules battling the Hulk. You've got Leader battling the Hulk, Submariner, and Doc Samson. You really thrown it. And also the Thing, because that's the next story. And it's just real high impact stuff. I mean, it's just great. I don't know if Doc Samson's still going. If the character still turns up that often, I don't know. This story was an odd one, but of course it was the first of the Marvel 2-in-1s. At the time it was in Marvel Feature. You got here, brilliant, the penthouse of the Baxter Building, headquarters of the Fabulous Fantastic Four, Crime Monster, beginning of a new kind of Marvel madness with Jim Starlin, of course, brilliant. Love that. And also it was really nice because you got this guy, Kurgo, the Master of the Planet X, one of those sort of characters that sort of like was one of monster stories back in the Atlas period. You sort of obviously got this robot that obviously the Thing doesn't do particularly well against, but it was a great little story. I love the ending of that story, but of course, as always with all good villains, he escapes in that issue 8, Fantastic Four issue 8. And of course you got the leader as well there. You can't complain about that. Really good story with the Hulk, and then of course another excuse for a good old battle all the way through it. And then all the way through the back, and let's just avoid the last page so you don't find out what happens there. And a Marvel Masterwork bin up, and this is obviously by a variety of different artists there. Obviously Everett there. Well, they've actually just combined it. Obviously, you know, the artist didn't probably go and draw it all on the same page, but they've combined lots and lots of ones. JR, obviously Romita, you got Steve Ditko, Maurice Severin, etc., etc. So you've got a variety of ones there, and that's just great. And of course, you've got these, and it also shows pictures of the early one. I love that one. Oh, that's interesting. The Christmas Treasury. That obviously that didn't have a number. That was the 1974 one. Obviously, it was just. It was weird when they didn't put a number because they put a number on the next one. The issue 9 was one of the Christmas specials or holiday grab bag, as it said. But for that one, they put 1974. I don't know why they changed their mind, but still, I love these ones. Absolutely. Obviously, this is an old copy. This is not my copy. Well, it's obviously now my copy, but it wasn't my original copy that I bought. But sadly, I got rid of them over the years, and now I've just decided, you know what? I'll just buy some of them because a lot of them are very expensive, especially the later ones. If you're going on looking at the later ones, maybe they didn't print as many. I don't know. I've no idea, but there just seems to, for some weird reason, if you look at some like, or maybe people just didn't buy them, like issue 15, 16, 17, 18, etc. They all seem to be 40 or 50 pounds, which is a lot more expensive than I paid for this. This was reasonably priced, which is great. So the Hulk on the Rampage, I think this is a really nice Marvel Treasury Edition, as many of the Marvel Treasury Editions are. So Totally recommended. Brilliant little book.